these rooms. Later, the Ottomans are said to have used them as prisons.
So I see you searching around this room somewhat frantically, but it's as if you're putting together the pieces of a puzzle.
Bricks tell us a lot of things about the construction.
Okay. Here.
There are two different buildings here. One of them is that one. It's older, probably, in my opinion, probably 4th century AD, time of Constantine Great, and this one is later, 6th century. If you look at the bricks, thickness of each brick may measure 6 centimeter or 7 centimeter. This was typical thickness of the bricks in the 5th and 6th centuries AD.
It was an Ottoman wall blocking off a tunnel once supported by a Roman arch, later reinforced by a Byzantine arch. 3 empires all making use of the same space. 1,700 years of layered history.
So it looks like just beyond this mound there's another arch that leads to another room.
Another room, yes. 100%, yeah, another room, full of debris like that. Look at this.
And all of these things very well could have led from the palace to Hagia Sophia to the Hippodrome, because we're not that far away from the Hippodrome.
Oh, we're very near.
So this could have led to the Hippodrome.
Yes, it could, yeah.
That meant almost every building or shop above sat on top of a part of the substructure of the palace. There could be escape routes underneath the nearby hotel. A modern restaurant could be above tunnels that led exotic animals to the Hippodrome. A taxi might be driving over one of the palace's lost libraries.
It looks like a burial chamber.
There's
a niche with an arch. Usually tells in Byzantine archaeology is an arcasolium type of tomb.
This could have been a tomb.
It would be for an important person.
Without proper study, there's no way of telling if this really is a tomb. But the physical evidence just added to the mystery of this city's subterranean world. After almost 300 years of Roman, 1,000 years of Byzantine, and 500 years of Ottoman rule, Istanbul's underground is like a museum collection of exquisite cisterns, priceless mosaics, and secret palatial rooms. But these treasures share the soil with a more sinister side of Istanbul's past. Recently, in the quiet district of Balad, one of the Byzantine Empire's most brutal and notorious dungeons was found. Guide Ali Pasha and chief archaeologist Shirin Akunca agreed to show us the 12th century Animus dungeon.
Watch your steps, watch your head as well.
Where the most common form of torture was to burn out a prisoner's eyes.
So if you look up, you get a good sense of how far down we are. And maybe from the bottom down, it's probably, what, about 60 feet, 80 feet, something like that? I mean, you get a sense of how many rooms, at least just from off this view. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections that I can see just right here. So this looks like quite a maze here.
This nearly 1,000-year-old prison was an annex for the nearby Byzantine Tekfur Palace. Unlike the early Romans or Ottomans, whose rulers all shared a bloodline, anyone could become the next emperor of the Byzantines. Over the next 350 years, plots to kill the emperor were so common, he needed a place large enough and a punishment severe enough to hold on to his power.
So what happens is to you, they start torturing you, they blind you, and they cut your tongue, they may pierce your eardrum, they may even castrate you. So they may keep you for forever here until you're nobody, nothing, just a kind of a creature, cannot speak.
Not a pretty place to be.
No, no, really.
Not long ago, this dungeon was full of debris. Locals had heard of it, but no one could have imagined something so huge was buried directly beneath this 16th century mosque. The dungeon is shaped like a backbone. The long corridor that becomes wider towards the end resembles the spine, and the 12 vaulted chambers branching off on each side, the vertebra. The subterranean dungeon is believed to have ranged from 18 meters to 24 meters in height, with wood planks that have since disintegrated separating the floors. Rooms were approximately 3 meters wide and over 10 meters long. 12 Byzantine arches act as support for this underground structure, along with the rocky hill the dungeon was built